people. According to hip hop, it's about the people, and hip hop period is about the people, right?
Right. You know
We
what I was
did.
thinking, Mike? Hold
Go
on, Mike. You
ahead.
know what I was just thinking right now? We don't believe you. You need more people.
There's a lot of J quotes that that
Oh
correlate with what's been
yeah.
going on.
Guess who's about to clown? All
All
right.
right, well, here it is. I think that, if any of you guys were tuned into our last episode or saw the rebroadcast of our last episode, we spoke about Rosenberg and Cypher Sound's Juan Epstein just first year podcast or whatnot, where they talked about Magic, and it was clear that they hadn't really heard the effort too much,
Mhm.
and they had a whole lot to say about it. They were nitpicking and whatnot, and we talked about it in our
Right.
previous episode. And the fans heard what we had to say, and they went on Peter Rosenberg's actual broadcast on the YouTube channel and on his Twitter and let him know
They
what
did all
they
that.
thought about his take.
It's very problematic.
Since then, he has changed his tone about Magic a little bit. He said that the more he listens to the album, the more he likes it. But he has also been somewhat doubling down and kind of riding on the fans, which I think is very interesting. Here's one of the tweets that I wanted to pull out. He said, "A lot of people are mad at me and Cypher Sounds because we didn't call Magic a classic, but a lot of you hype beasts are acting like Life is Good never happened." We're not talking about Life is Good. Okay, all right, all right. There's a lot of things that I found wrong with that tweet in itself.
It's very problematic.
All right, first off, no one, and you can go back to the last broadcast and we can go to even people's comments on their video. No one has a problem with anybody not thinking Magic is a classic. So, that whole narrative of, people are coming to him because he didn't call Magic a classic, that's a false narrative. People had a problem with the fact that you guys clearly hadn't listened to the effort and you were finding all kinds of things to use to criticize an effort and you thought you weren't going to be called for it. Again, we're talking about song structure. That was one of your big things about the critique of Magic.
I think
And
it's so.
based on the music you put together, even on your collaborative album that we actually loved and did a really good review on, it is not filled with
Very positive review.
it's not filled with super complicated song structure. It's beats and rhymes. You've built your whole aura on beats and rhymes, and all we're asking, and all the fans are asking, and from what I saw, was to be consistent on that and to be consistent with your critique. So the narrative that you didn't call Magic a classic, it's not the problem here. The problem is that the media tends to continuously beat down anything that Nas puts out, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent or great, and somehow always comes back to this Illmatic thing. Rolling Stone did the same thing recently, and I'm going to get to that article too. But let me get to the second part of this tweet.
Oh, there's
Uh,
more.
yeah, he
There's
said, well, no,
more.
I'm just, I broke down that first part. But he said, a lot of you hype beasts that acting like life is good never happened. First of all, I don't like the whole labeling of who people are, what people are doing. Like I don't even know what this hype beast thing is. I think it's like some fashion shit, whatever. But I don't know if he's talking about us. I don't know if he's talking about you guys. But at the end of the day, don't sit here and try to group people into something like this is a group think thing. Like we're all just jumping on Nas's side to be cool, and we don't have any real valid assertions about everything you put out there. You have to validate your opinion. It's not your ability to sit here and group us and act like everything the people are saying is invalid. That's a problem. I'm not a hype beast. Coop's not a hype beast. I mean, I've never claimed to be that. But again, this is coming
Well,
from
hold on. What is a
somewhere.
hype beast? Like, I'm gonna have to ask my daughter what that is. What the fuck is that?
I don't know,
So,
man. I think it's another, virtual signal or whatever
put a
people want to
question
call it.
mark by
It's
that
a
in my
way to
notes.
sit there and gaslight what people are saying and dismiss it.
Gaslighting. Very good. Well,
Exactly.
how
We
about
talk
this?
about life is good all the time. And you know what? At the end of the day, because when I was running down Nas's efforts in the past
I
10
told
years,
you it's like
and
eight or ninth or 10th.
I accidentally left out Life is Good on live broadcast. It feels like that was coming at me straight up. But
Oh,
whatever.
is that where that come from? The time that I hold on, you talking about what I just when I was like, don't forget, life is good.
That coincidental, I don't know.
Hold on, Mike. See, okay. Well, you want to know what? Well, let me just go ahead and. I mean, hold on, Mike. Are you finished? Is there more of his tweets?
That's the only tweet I'm gonna pull up. I don't want to give too much light in that situation, but we will talk
Right.
about the whole, break. And a lot of you guys went to his Twitter and gave your opinions. My man Mark Wright, who's in the chat, he told me that his response got deleted. So I guess that happens a lot. This is the thing. Um, the people run hip hop, man. Hip hop comes from the streets.
They be out here doing
And
whole
nothing
shit.
that you sit there and do on whatever platform that you were ever given is going to change that. If the people are coming at you because you came an incorrect way, don't double down. Just admit the truth. Just be like, yo, I didn't really get an album or listen like that. My bad. But the fact that you want to come at people because they have legitimate gripes, and the fact that these critiques seem inconsistent with other critiques that you don't give other artists, don't make it seem like they're crazy. But go ahead. I don't want to talk too much.
No. Talk your shit. Because I'm gonna tell you what, Mike. Part of what I have to say is that I would have much more to say if I was the owner of this organization and not you. This would be getting handled slightly differently. I want to thank you for keeping your integrity and respectability of this organization intact.
I mean, it's
Unfortunately
about
for
the
him,
people, man. You know what I'm
it
saying?
is.
So,
It
yeah.
is. So can we get to a few things?
Go ahead.
Like, first of all, when I was talking about I was about to get on some purple tape shit about these dudes who I hear out here who really don't do the work, and then I can hear like the snippets of what they say, and it sounds like something you and me said a month or two prior. Oh, well, now I'm not gonna be a stranger about one of the people that I'm talking about. Now I'm just gonna like I'm talking about him and some of the other people doing the same thing, because here's what happened. He's too busy in LA driving his agent's Range Rover to listen to one of the greatest MCs of all time. If we're just going to speak about it subjectively, we have crowned him the greatest MC of all time, but let's just be let's pull everything and all things be considered. He is clearly one of the greatest MCs of all time.
Right.
If you are a purveyor and somebody who claims to be a torchbearer of this hip hop shit, the way that he claims, and I like the fact that you bring up that we rated his project fairly and honestly by calling it a dope project, because it was. Mm-hmm, and it remains so. Like all of this doesn't change the fact that he made a dope project. But here's the reality of the matter. Like, you a little lost. You a little out of touch. You bringing up your Range Rover and being in LA with your agent, like niggas want to hear that when Nas just dropped Magic. Like, don't nobody care about that. But what you did was you kind of like opened yourself up, and you showed how little you was paying attention to the project. You also showed your narcissism by showing how much you like to talk about yourself instead of talking about one of the greatest MCs of all time dropping arguably the album of the year. If this is your job wasn't to talk about some Range Rover in LA and your agent or tell some story. Your job is to talk about Nas and Magic and at least give it an appropriate and proper review. Nobody asked you to call it a classic, fam. I don't even know if we called it classic. We just called it album of the year. So when you're talking about people running around calling it classic, what you sound like is defensive. I'm going to tell you, Mike, when I get defensive, it's usually one or two times, and it's usually both things. It's usually when I'm wrong or when I'm emotional. And it's usually both of those things at the same damn time when I get defensive. So what he is right now is wrong and emotional, and is showing, taking shots at fans. He's doing this subliminal high school prom girl stuff by taking these subliminal shots at us instead of saying our names. It's like, no, you don't got to go in the corner and talk to your girlfriends. You can bring your ass to the floor and dance. But like I said in those tweets, we know who owns you. So we know that you're not going to do that because you're not built like that anyway. Mike, he is talking about us because of that redacted and redacted comment, as in Mike D and Coop, the redacted and the redacted.
Well, someone in a post said he's
Mike,
talking about something else. I don't even
I'm
care.
not done. This is from a dude that is talking about going to LA and driving his agent's Range Rover and doesn't even remember Raekwon's verse from Eye for an Eye or Verbal Intercourse. What kind of head are you? Like, if you wanted some respect, you lost it. Mike, it's like you told me behind the scenes. He's like, every real head knows how Raekwon's verse to Verbal Intercourse starts off as opposed to how it starts off for Eye for an Eye. So when you're criticizing Primo for the scratches that he's doing, you can't even get the fucking verse right. That's why I was like up on there like, shh, like you look like a fool because you out of touch. You're not on point. And to be honest, like, he's the hype beast because what they've done is they've taken this culture and they've put their name on it because, Mike, they want to be friends with rappers. I don't give a fuck about being no friend with no rapper. Let that shit be known up on Front Street right now. I'm not your friend. I'm not looking to be your friend. You're not looking to be my friend. I'm not making you no money. Like, I know how this shit really goes. So he's one of them dudes who's sitting up here playing relationships and friendships. And the fact that he's been doing it so long and ingratiated himself with the culture, he thinks he has a voice. And it's like, you tried to son us. Ain't no sonning according to hip hop because don't nobody own us. Ain't no sonning me. And at any point in time, I told him, I was like, I pull up on your podcast. I tell it to you live. We can address whatever hip hop issue you want to address. Mike, he said we had no talent. Mike, you and I'm going to speak for myself. Oh, we're more articulate than you, my brother. We're more intelligent than you. We're really more connected to this hip hop shit than you are. Like, you a sham, you a liar, you a phony, you a fake. Like, you a lot of things, but what you not is talented. What you are is built on your relationships. Our talent got your ass roasted with not even 5,000 followers on YouTube while you got 350,000 followers on YouTube because the power lies in the people. Exactly. Ain't no sun in us. And yo, I want you to pull up to Atlanta and give me that same fucking energy.
Listen, man, we got the people, and the people speak, and obviously the people spoke
I got
to
more
him.
shit. Like, and I'm gonna put my foot on your neck too. Like, I'm not letting up on you either. I don't care who you know, nigga.
Hey, man, listen, man. It's the people spoke, and the people went to his platform, and didn't sound like a lot of people was with him on this. So, you know, again, it ain't gonna stop.
No, no, Mike. I'm saying all that because, like, he made it personal. We were talking about a reaction to the music. That's how I know that he knows he's out of pocket because he couldn't respond musically. That's why I said we can pull up on your podcast and like address it as in musically. We can talk about it and debate it. But you don't want no smoke because you're not that good at this anymore. You don't do your job like you used to anymore, and you were never better than me at this to begin with. Mike and I just started doing this, and we already got people on your ass. What does that say about what we've been doing? You dedicated your life to this. We just pulled up a year and a half ago with your weak ass.
Well, the thing is, we built
nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
What up?
We actually built something with the people, and thanks to the people that we were actually able to build something from the ground up. It's different when somebody just puts you in position. It's different when somebody just puts you in position and puts you on a platform, and people got to warm up to you. We actually were ingratiated with the people from the ground up. So Mike, our shit's different.
A year ago this time, we had about 250 followers, and we were still doing and saying the same exact things. Yeah. What up?
Exactly, man. You know what I'm saying? And we here to have hip-hop discussion.
Right.
And
Mike,
like I said, hip-hop is about
and his timeline. Mike, you can go check his YouTube and his timeline and watch where he switched up. Now he's trying to show videos of where he gave Nas props. That ain't what we talking about, nigga.
That ain't what we talking about. We saw what the initial reaction was.
Yeah, we seen you.
Bottom line, there is clearly a media script.
Like a girl.
Clearly,
he handled it like a girl.
Bottom line, there's a media script out here to actually review and handle Nas' efforts a certain way. And he fit right into that script. And so you can't change that now. It's not about saying anything favorable about Nas, whatever. You should have just looked at this project as it was. If you didn't really rock with it like that, at least give reasons why you didn't. And if you hadn't heard it like that, chill out before you actually say something about it.
I mean, I want you to understand how funky this game is. It's like, I'm pretty certain half the dudes that even have relationships with him probably don't even like him, but they have to because of his radio and his business and political connections. I'm not tied to any of those people.
No,
like, you about to catch this. You better not miss another Raekwon quote. How about that? I'm gonna be right back on your shit. Be like, what's up, purveyor of the underground? Like, what's up, champ? Like, yeah, nigga, you don't want this smoke. Go sit down somewhere. Like, go cash your checks like you've been doing. Mike, they started off the podcast talking about we don't have anything to talk about. We hoping the fans will maybe give us something to talk about. It's like,
they didn't have no fans in there. We didn't have no fans.
No, you're here to cash a check. I get it. Next.
They didn't have no fans in there. I mean, you know what? I'm going to be perfectly honest, man. Before we did our podcast and somebody, reached out to me and told me what was going on because I didn't really follow, the Juan Epstein podcast like that. They said that, somebody was saying something about magic. I checked it out. I told you to check it out, whatever, whatever. When I went over to that YouTube video that I sent you, there was like 7 comments on there. After our show, it was like 57 on there. We did that. And I have no problem actually sending people to people's content because this is about the culture. I want people to be educated on what you said in the moment. And you can backtrack and all that stuff. Everything that we've said is highly documented. You can go back to any of the previous episodes. Nobody said anything about, oh, you got to call this and this classic. Because really, let's just keep it real and not to toot our own horn. The reason why people was on your ass is because of our episode. So there's nobody else you're really talking about when it comes to that part of it. But unless you're talking about the fans and you're talking about our broadcast. And all these fans can't be wrong. Right. And, let me know in the chat too. Let us know. Do y'all think we were wrong or what? What is it?
Mike, first of all, I'm not apologizing. It's way too late. I don't.
Well, he's not apologizing either. So I'm definitely not apologizing.
No. I ain't the type of dude to do apologies.
No, ain't none of that.
Like somebody who follows us added us, because here's what I mean when I'm saying he tried to sun us. He think that he's so big that when he speak that somebody who may follow us ain't gonna catch wind of it. Like he was talking that shit like he was talking freely. It's like, oh no, you're not talking freely no more. You already a slave anyway. Like what you doing that for anyway? Like why is he taking shots? This dude got like just on Twitter, because I pulled up on him yesterday, like I'm sure everybody know now. Like he got over 350,000 followers on Twitter. Why you pulling up on a podcast that just started a year and a half ago with $5,000 taking subliminal shots? It's like, you can't say that shit with your chest when you got literally 350,000 more followers. It's like, don't expect me to respect you, because where I'm from, when you got the type of position that he's in versus the position that we in, and you move the way that he moved, like I said, like a little high school girl at prom, gossiping to her friends. Oh no, nigga! Like it's foot on your neck time because I can see that you weak.
Well, honestly, man, let's keep it real. Like
every
I said,
which way.
The way that these followings developed were a lot different. We did it from the ground up. You got on Hot 97, got on ESPN or whatever, and developed your following that way. Because again, there wasn't a lot of people in your mentions or in the comments defending him to that degree anyway. So if you got people that really rock with what you're saying, where they at?
No, where he at? I told you we'll pull up live on him. Like, as in, like, you can take the money for this. I just want to roast you since we ain't got no talent. Like, Mike, I ain't even gonna take no notes and I can roast him. Like, he been past it. Like, what you talking about?
Listen,
I don't take no notes when I do this, Mike.
You know
I don't
what?
take no notes when I do this. I take my notes live about the things that you say. Like, oh, Mike, that's a good point. I'm be taking no notes.
You know what, man?
I'm in this shit right now.
I told you this offline. I told you this offline, man. Like, you the best out here doing this hip hop shit when it comes to breaking down the game and breaking down the music. Like, I don't even know what we want to call ourselves. I guess like visual journalists, because we've taken this thing from the page to the actual video. But as far as people commentating on the culture, man, you're the best to do it out here. And as far as that no talent thing, I mean, I heard they weren't talking about us, but things seem to fall in place.
That's coming from the guy with the relationships and no talent talking. It's like, I was like, is this no talent? Nigga say I didn't have talent. It's like, what are you talking about?
Well, you know what? This is where I first.
Pretty fast, fam. We pulled up on you fast. Like you dedicated your whole life on this, to this aspect of it. We pulled up on you in a year and a half. Who really got the talent?
This is the thing, man. When he kind of really threw me for a loop, and this was about maybe 7-8 years ago. When he broke bad with Chuck D, I was like, yo, what's going on here? You remember that? When he actually called out Chuck D, and he was like, who named you president of hip hop type thing? And I'm like, yo, you out of line.
Who you talking to?
Exactly.
I've never talked to Chuck that way in my life.
Who gave you the credentials to be able to sit here and talk down on Chuck D?
That's what I'm talking about.
This man, no. This man made Fight the Power. This man made It Takes a Nation and Millions to Hold Us Back. You should have nothing to say to Chuck D at all.
No, Mike, that's why I keep on bringing up that whole Range Rover in LA comment. It's like, why are you talking about you? This is about Nas. You a narcissist. You done got bigger, think you bigger than this. Like, you the issue. Nas's projects, Hit Boys beats, the song structure, not the issue. Motherfuckers like you is the issue. We addressing the issue. Now pull up.
All right, I see a post right here. Let me see, man. This buddy dude is
You the
everywhere.
issue.
And
Nas and
A2HH
Hit Boy and the
posts
song
talking
structure
negative
not the
about Nas,
issue.
calling him super Nas, man. All right, yeah, it's
How
a
about the
lot
Range
going on.
Rover in LA the issue? Range Rover, I ain't letting that go. Be like, hey, every time he review a project, be like, hey, were you and your agent's Range Rover in LA when you listen to that project? Every time. That's what I mean. I'm about to put my foot on dude. Like, yeah, you don't know you dealing